Part 8, Aging by the Decades. This is one of my favorite parts. The problem with clients is they really just don't know how their skin should feel or look at certain points in their life. It's no secret that clients are typically concerned about how their skin looks as they age, and they wonder if their skin is healthy enough or if there's anything wrong with it. That's one of the reasons they come to see a skincare coach in the first place. The bottom line is they want to know if their skin is functioning properly and that they're nourishing it and looking after their skin so that it's healthy and, most important, that it looks great. In this section, we're going to explore the gradual changes that take place in the skin over the course of each decade. We're going to look at how these changes impact the way the skin looks and feels in each decade of life. However, it's not lost on us that we do age with time. We can't stop that. But there is a myriad of options that you can suggest to clients to slow down the skin's aging and even minimize and even reverse the effects and appearance of aging or damaged skin. One of the greatest fears is to wake up and discover that wrinkles and fine lines are there one morning, seeming like you've aged overnight. When clients look in the mirror, they're sure they weren't there before. Where did they come from and how did they appear so fast? The next question they ask is, how do I stop it from getting worse? It's worrisome, to say the least, for many people. As a skincare coach, your clients will find it extremely helpful for you to explain what telltale signs and changes they can expect to happen to their skin during their teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. Your goal as a skincare coach is to be a long-term trusted advisor as they go through life. As their skincare coach, you'll help them explore the various skincare concerns that they'll have and make suggestions how to address each of these for the decade of their skincare that they're in. In every meeting, regardless of their age, you should discuss sun damage and suggest that they see a medical professional on a regular basis. We've already discussed this. And we also have to suggest that they have professional checks and self-examinations that include sun damage and skin cancer and other skin conditions. The client should ideally avoid sun damage and conduct regular self-examinations every single month. And you have to suggest that they consult a medical professional for guidance in this important area of their skin health. That really helps with aging. These checkups can be suggestions, but they fall outside of the scope of skincare coaching itself. However, if you do notice something the client should ask their skincare doctor about, you can certainly suggest that they bring this up at their next doctor's appointment. So let's carry on. It's no secret that your clients' skin will experience lots of changes as they age, whether they notice the loss of elasticity or volume, fine lines, wrinkles, and discoloration where it didn't used to be, or they didn't used to have any. These changes will actually have a psychological and a physiological effect on the client. Psychological because it's tough to age and look in the mirror. Most people don't like it. It just is what it is. So there's a couple of things that we have to make sure of, is that clients understand the aging process as the decades go and understand their options in skincare as we age and go through these decades. The bottom line is these changes can be a bit stressful as they try to navigate the aging process. We all know about the fact that the skin ages, but how many clients do you think actually know exactly and precisely what changes they can expect to happen to their skin within each decade? One of the things they want to explore with you is what they can do to keep their skin looking radiant, youthful, and glowing in every single decade. The products that worked for the clients in their early 20s may lose their effectiveness and their efficiency as they go into their 30s, 40s, and beyond. The products that work for the clients in their early 20s might lose their efficacy even as early as a few years later, especially if they have hormonal changes or are experiencing stress. The bottom line is that they will consistently have to examine and adjust their skincare regimen based on their skin's current needs. Now let's talk about teens and how they go through the decades. Throughout life, skin hydration is essential to keep your skin healthy and fresh, but unfortunately, those in their teens can face a lot of problems in this area. Premature aging, little fine lines, and wrinkles can result from a lack of hydration in teenage years that can start off a premature aging cycle. Lack of hydration, using chemicals that are too harsh, cleansing the skin improperly, the risks of bacterial, fungal, and viral contamination, these can all take hold. And other negative habits like smoking, drinking, excessive amounts of alcohol, lack of sleep, stress, and other conditions like eczema, acne, breakouts, these can leave scars which later in life might make a person look older than they really are. So proper hygiene and good habits in the teen years are the best anti-aging defense for this age group, combined with a proper skincare regime that targets the specific issues of the teenage years. Honestly, exfoliation is the most important in these years because the metabolic functioning in the teens is high and the skin's ability to regenerate is actually at its highest. Unfortunately, breakouts happen because sebum production tends to be at its highest as well, and this can form acne because the skin produces an abundance of skin cells that and sebum that clog the pores. This is what the sweat glands and sebaceous glands tend to do. They tend to go into hyperdrive in these years. Products with ingredients that target this are recommended. So now on to the 20s. The 20s is the decade that marks the beginning of the first signs of aging on your client's face, neck, and in their cleavage area. In their 20s, clients will notice a slight dullness creeping into their skin. The glow of the teenage years starts to diminish as oil and sebum production slows down. In their 20s, the client's skin will remain fairly elastic and supple as a result of steady production of collagen. But late in the teenage years and into the early 20s, clients will lose any of the baby fat, promoting and prompting women to look a bit rounder and men to actually look leaner than they were in their teenage years. Sun damage starts to show its face in their 20s, and when people look in the mirror, they'll tell you that they generally look more tired and stressed than they did in their teenage years, and it started to show on their face. This tends to occur in the late 20s, and the issues that were caused by sun damage start to appear and accelerate over time. Other factors like lack of sleep and stress and hormones take a toll in their 20s. Clients may start seeing expression or emotional lines, particularly around the eyes. These are known as crow's feet. Over time, wrinkles and fine lines typically begin to appear in the mid to late 20s, including signs of motor wrinkles, which are creases in the skin caused by habits like frowning, pressing the brows together, pursing lips from smoking, and things like that. They start to show in the brow, the eyes, or the lip areas. According to dermatologists, the one thing that you really need to watch out for in your 20s is melasma, a skin condition where dark spots or discoloration appear on the face. This condition is especially noticeable around the cheeks and forehead and usually stems from a combination of factors, including excessive sun exposure, usage of antibiotics, hormonal fluctuations, and pregnancy. It's imperative to get 20-somethings to get into a decent skincare routine to prepare their skin for the aging times ahead. Their skin probably doesn't show signs of aging yet deep down, but laying those habits and that foundation down does address the process of aging, which will help them in the coming years. It's especially important to notice the stress the value of sunscreen and anti-aging skincare routines, which include appropriate serums and moisturizers in particular, as well as exfoliation. This will go a long way in helping their skin combat the signs of aging over the long run. Toward the end of the 20s, skincare coaches typically recommend that their clients begin using more potented and highly targeted anti-aging and skincare products. Toward the end of this decade, they'll see that collagen and elastin production is beginning to wane and decrease, and these actually are essential to keep the firmness and elasticity in the skin from breaking down and declining. Taking this into account, it's no surprise that these years mark the onset of different signs of aging. The goal is to get people in their late 20s into a great routine that's both preventative and habit forming. In particular, UV rays can be problematic, so it's highly beneficial to add either an AHA or a BHA regime to the client's skincare routine to block those UV rays.